Hi, I'm just popping in here at the beginning of the episode to apologize for the poor quality audio here. I am not recording with the microphone because I just finished recording this episode and I went to stop recording the audio and realized I had never even started it. So I'm sorry, but I hope you're still able to enjoy this episode. Here we go. I used to be a weird Warriors kid. Now I'm a weird Warriors adult. Each week, I'm discussing a chapter of the iconic books by Aaron Hunter. My name is Charlie, and in today's episode, I will be talking about Prophecies Begin, Book 1, Into the Wild, Chapter 19. Join me on this adventure into the world of warrior cats. Before I dive into this episode, a quick reminder that if you'd like to access bonus content, extended versions of the episodes, and the comment section, then you can subscribe for just $5 a month on Substack. Now on with the episode. The chapter art for chapter 19 is the same as the cover art, where it is Rusty at the beginning of the book when he first gets to ThunderClan. And Lucky is
on my doll shelf.
I haven't really shown this side of my interests on this podcast, but I have a whole other channel called Lots of Love where I do doll unboxings and reviews and things like that. I wasn't planning on this plug, but because Lucky is getting onto there and it's distracting me, I figured I might as well just talk about it. This is, oh no, oh Lucky. He's on the floor now. I need to save Maylene Lux from him. I'm gonna shut Lucky out of here and continue with the podcast. I love you, Lucky. Anyway, the chapter art is Rusty, right as he's joining ThunderClan, basically. And the chapter begins with Firepaw coming back into ThunderClan camp through the hole in the barrier that Greypaw and Ravenpaw were patching up. He says he didn't have luck getting the garlic because Darkstrike was prowling around out there. I guess he doesn't want to reveal everything he just overheard because he doesn't want to scare Ravenpaw. But Firepaw still wants to help Greypaw with his leg pain, so he offers to get poppy seeds from Spotted Leaf. But Greypaw had a dull look in his eyes, and he says, "No, don't worry. I'll be fine." Greypaw is, of course, still very much grieving Lionheart, and it's very sad. But Firepaw insists that it's no trouble, and he hurries over to Spotted Leaf's den, where she is pacing around, and Firepaw asks if she's okay. She says, "The spirits of StarClan are restless. I think they are trying to tell me something." And then Firepaw asks for the poppy seeds, and she gives them to him. And then he asks, "Are you sure you're okay?" And Spotted Leaf avoids his gaze and says, "Go and see your friend." And I just think this really shows Firepaw's character, because he's checking on Graystripe, insisting on getting him the medicine he needs, and then he's asking the doctor if she's okay as well. And it's just really showing his empathy and his care for the well-being of his friends and his clan. But as Firepaw walks away, Spotted Leaf hisses, "Wait, StarClan spoke to me moons ago, before you joined the clan. I sense they want me to tell you this now. They said only fire can save our clan." And then the strange passion fades from her eyes, and she says in a normal voice, "Take care, Firepaw." And Firepaw leaves, kind of confused, and wonders why had she shared those words with him. Suddenly fire was an enemy to all who lived in the forest. Now, I just think it's kind of amusing that he doesn't think for a second that maybe the prophecy has to do with him. Well, I guess he doesn't know it's a full-on prophecy, but like, he knows StarClan said it, so I guess he's really humble and or very oblivious. But then we cut to the next morning. It says they had been resting all morning because they had been up most of the night working on repairs, but Tiger Claw had ordered them to be ready for training at Sun High. Firepaw had had a restless night with vague, confusing, and dark dreams swirling through his mind. Firepaw tries to wake up Graypaw, but he's very deep asleep because of the poppy seeds. And then Ravenpaw asks if Firepaw's awake, and it says Firepaw spat silently under his breath. He had wanted to talk to Graypaw before Ravenpaw awoke. Now it doesn't say it, but I think we can assume the reason is because Firepaw wanted to tell Graypaw what he overheard Tiger Claw, Darkstripe, and Longtail talking about in the previous chapter without Ravenpaw hearing because he doesn't want to scare him. And then they finally are able to wake up Graypaw, and Tiger Claw's calling for them outside the den. And Firepaw and Ravenpaw come out, and then Tiger Claw asks, "Is the other one coming?" Which I just think is so demeaning. Like, Graypaw has a name. You should use it, Tiger Claw. And he says training will do him good. He's grieved for long enough. Tiger Claw is so annoying. It says Firepaw held the menacing amber gaze for a few moments. Warrior and apprentice. For a heartbeat, their eyes were locked as enemies. Tiger Claw says Blue Star will be ready for you in a moment, Firepaw. And Firepaw's like, oh yeah, training with Blue Star. This will be the first day. And I think it's wild that we're this far into the book and he's just now going to have his first one-on-one training session with his own mentor. I think Firepaw has really good fighting instincts, but Blue Star has a lot to teach him too. And Tiger Claw says Graypaw can join his training session and asks Ravenpaw if he's up to it. After all, you got some pretty nasty nettle stings while the rest of us were fighting those rats. And Graypaw and Ravenpaw follow the deputy to go do their training, and I feel so bad for them. Like, the timing of Graypaw grieving, Ravenpaw dealing with knowing the truth, and Tiger Claw having a big head because he just became deputy, like, that's just a recipe for a very annoying training session. And Firepaw waits, and soon Blue Star arrives, walking confidently, seemingly hiding any sign that she's in pain from all the wounds all over her body. And Firepaw follows her and asks where's Darkstripe and Longtail, and she says she ordered them to work on repairs. And Firepaw's heartbeat quickens as he realizes now's a great time for him to tell her his suspicions about Tiger Claw being the one who killed Redtail. But he's ruminating about how he should word it. What would he say if she asks follow-up questions? What true evidence does he even have other than Ravenpaw's storytelling at the gathering all along the way till they get to the Sandy Hollow, which is empty? And Blue Star explains that she asked Tiger Claw to have his training session somewhere else because she wants Firepaw to concentrate without any distractions. But of course, Firepaw's distracted by trying to figure out how to tell her what's on his mind, but suddenly she attacks him. And they go back and forth for a couple pages as she beats him up quite a bit. And he does eventually get a good blow against her, but she quickly after that recovers and attacks him back, though her eyes are filled with pride. But before all of that, she does say to him, Firepaw, you've been with us for many moons now. I've watched you fight. With the rats, you were quick. With the Shadow Clan warriors, you were fierce. You outwitted Graypaw on that very first day we met, and you defeated Yellowfang with your cleverness too. But one day, you will meet an opponent who is all of these things as well. Quick and fierce and clever. It's my duty to prepare you for that day. A great speech from Blue Star. But yeah, so then they have the training fighting, and she's teaching him about the importance of staying balanced and not giving away what his next move will be by where he's looking with his eyes and things like that. And finally, she says that's enough for today. And they head back to ThunderClan camp. And it wasn't until they reached the camp boundary that Firepaw realized he'd forgotten to tell Bluestar about Ravenpaw. And that's the end of chapter 19. It's pretty short, and not a lot happens in this chapter. It's basically just the training session, but it's still exciting to see Bluestar, the leader of ThunderClan, teaching this former kitty pet Firepaw warrior skills. Like, I think that's a pretty big honor for him, and we're seeing Firepaw's empathy towards other cats, as well as maybe his flaw of overthinking things, which I can definitely relate to. But that's pretty much it for this week. Remember, if you'd like to access extra content and extended episodes in the comment section, you can subscribe for just $5 a month on Substack. And I guess I'll plug my doll channel here again. It's Lotsa Love, LOTSALUV. And just like I have an LPS mascot for this podcast, I have an LPS mascot for that channel, which is a pink elephant, kind of representing OCD, which if you watch my very first video I posted on that channel, I kind of explain everything related to that. But it's a fun time over there, so you can check that out if you'd like. And I'm excited for the weeks ahead. We're soon gonna finish book 1. And I also want to do a couple bonus episodes where I react to different Warriors content. One is the Warrior Cats Into the Wild, the movie fan-made production on the YouTube channel Pink Bunny Girl 43. I've seen it once before and I loved it, and I think it would be really fun to watch it right after reading the book. And then the other is, I recently saw on my YouTube recommendations, Hank Green made a video called The Theology of the Warrior Cats. So both of those are just things I think it would be fun to sit down and react to and comment on as I'm watching. Of course, you should go and watch those videos yourself to support those creators, but if you want to see my reactions to them, you can subscribe on Substack and you'll be able to see those. But anyway, that's enough promo for today. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you next time. This has been Into the World of Warrior Cats.